Okay, I have totally no idea what I'm doing. Um, Hi, my name is Robert, also known as the Dead Guy, as you will, I guess, get to know me as. Uh, I'm uh, I'm 53. I grew up in Hollywood, California, in the Valley, as it was referred to. I don't know if they still refer it as the Valley today, but between the 1980s and the 1990s. And anyways, I'm a huge movie nerd, um, nerd buff, critic, whatever you want to call me. Oh, excuse me, I had a little late night McDonald's run because I don't know, something about McDonald's at 1 in the morning is appealing to me. Anyways, I just came out here to my favorite bookstore, used bookstore, sitting in the parking lot. Probably see the reflection of all the books in my glasses. There are a lot of books outside. Anyways, too bad they don't have movies outside. That would be something else. Well, they do, but they're really horrible movies. Um, I'm trying to put together content for a YouTube channel and a Patreon channel. And one of the things I just wanted to touch on is I watch a lot of TikTok and I watch a lot of YouTube. And there are um, millennials, I guess, millennials and zillennials, and all these people uh, doing reaction videos of movies that they have never seen before, or songs or whatever. And two things always get me is that they go into them so completely blind. I mean, we have Google. You can research. You can even do, with a spoiler alert, you can do the littlest about a bit of research to find out just a little backstory on a film. Like one of the films that I am very personal on is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a film that was made way well, God, back in the 70s. Anyways, um, despite the title, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is not a horror movie. It's a it's a satire. It is a spoof. It is, above all things, it is a musical. But they go in on these reactions, and they kind of drive me crazy because uh, I just go Google things. Google things first for even the littlest bit of information. Um, because, well, Rocky Horror in particular, above all, it is a musical satire of science fiction and horror films from the 1950s. And that's where the entire film is actually it's set in the 1950s. So it's very stereotypical of sci-fi horror films from that time. The main characters, Brad and Janet, they are very stereotypical white, a white 1950s college age couple, with sensibilities of that time. If it was made in the modern day, one cell phone call would have ruined the entire plot line. but as it is, they're going out on a. The whole plot is they're going out on a trip to announce their engagement to the teacher whom's class they actually met at. And on the way to his house, out in the countryside, they get a flat tire. They have to go somewhere for to try to find a phone. The only place to find is a giant mansion that they would describe as a castle. And upon going to the castle, there are a bunch of really weird people in it doing a bunch of really weird things that they are not familiar with their own. And shenanigans ensue. And they're taken way out of their comfort zone. And I'm not going to go into the rest of it because I could do a whole review of it. But that's the basic of it. And just some of these reactions are, oh my God, they're so cornball, they're even funnier than the movie actually is. Because the movie's a piece of shit. It was not received well upon its release, because at its basis, at its core, it is an American adaptation of a British stage musical that was a huge hit. And 9 times out of 10, when Hollywood tries to make an adaptation of something British, it fails because something fails in the translation. To roll back on Rocky Horror, the Rocky Horror Show was a stage musical made by a brilliant singer, songwriter, director, Richard O'Brien, who made this for a British off-Broadway play, and it had a lot of new people in it, a lot of new British talent, among them the legendary Sir Tim Curry, who unfortunately suffered a stroke some years ago and now lost the use of half of his body. So he's not doing a whole lot. He's doing stuff, voiceover work from what I understand now, but Tim Curry, one of the gods of cinema and voice acting and British comedy, it was his breakthrough role. And Richard O'Brien also plays a role in the play. He plays the part of Riff Raff, which is sort of the hunchback, mad doctor's assistant sort of character. Patricia Quinn is also in it, and she plays Magenta, who is the maid and sister to Riff Raff. And there's a bunch of other characters, but basically this musical did its rounds around the world, and when it came through the United States, it was decided by some Hollywood producers, Jim Sharman among them, to actually adapt it into a movie, into an American movie. And they got everybody on board. Richard Bryan and everybody from the original musical was brought on board, and they shot it in the UK, and it was an amazing production. But when it was released to American audiences, the general public American audiences did not get it. They didn't understand it. It bombed in American cinemas. So, in order to try to make some of the money back, they booked it in a couple of New York theaters on the midnight cult movie circuit, hoping the weirdos that liked really weird movies would latch on to it. And they did, big time. People started dressing up as their favorite characters. People started singing along with the songs. People started getting up on the space between the screen and the audience and acting out scenes. And then these things were formed called shadow casts, which is basically a cast of performers that shadows the action on the screen in the cinema and gets the audience interacting with everything. So you're no longer going to just see a movie, you're going to do everything that you are told not to do in a movie. To talk, to yell, to make jokes, to get up and dance, to act out. And it's been going like that for over 40 years now. You can guarantee that just about any place in the world, any city, any major city, a couple minor ones, on any Friday or Saturday night at midnight, there is a cast performing the Rocky Horror Picture Show live, as it is, every year, all year round. Back in the 90s, I was part of a cast in Los Angeles, The Sins of the Flesh, that we did it every Friday and Saturday night at midnight for years. I was part of it for at least 2 years, and that was my life. I actually, for a time, I was living with an understudy for two of the characters that I played, the criminologist and Dr. Scott. That's a whole nother story of my life. But yeah, just watching the movie at home, I wouldn't terribly recommend it. It's kind of silly and ridiculous. It's not a good movie. I would recommend getting the collector's edition so you can deep dive into all the behind the scenes and excuse me, all the behind the scenes stuff, and of course look at how the audience participation is. It's a totally different thing, and it's changed a lot over the decades since I was a teenager. I got into it in 1987, and I'm 53 years old. I was born in 1971. I got into it in 1987, and I'm still into it in some capacity with my local theater out here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. If you want to come and see the cast that I'm with, we're called the Lowdown Cheap Little Punks, and we perform at the Rialto Theater on the first, third, and fifth Friday each month, with the exception of this month, our fifth Friday, the 30th. It's a holiday weekend, and we're taking it off. Our next show is on September 6th, which should be fun because it's going to be a punk/goth night, and I'm trying to work together a cyberpunk version of the criminologist that I should probably go home and start working on my jacket. I've got lots of glow-in-the-dark glyphs and things to paint onto it. But yeah, okay, that's sort of my first bit. I'll try uploading this, and I'll probably redo this because, I need to practice. So have a good night.